Welcome to the Faith Christian School podcast. It is our pleasure to partner with our parents to bring information that will help you as a parent, as a spouse, and as a child of God.
Welcome to the Faith Christian Schools podcast show. My name is Doug Dickerson, along with my co-host David Freeberg, and we are just really delighted to have you tuning in today.
Yeah, this year, our teachers are reading the book Schools of Fish for our professional development, and you just try to connect with our students a little more and things like that. Today we have as our special guest Alicia Dickerson, who's leading the professional development classes for the Schools of Fish. And welcome, Alicia.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming today. And could you give us a little bit of background about the schools, or about the fish philosophy and all that?
Sure. So the fish philosophy started with a gentleman named John Christensen, who had actually gone to a fish market in Seattle, where he watched these group of people really enjoying their job, and went home and kind of put together their idea of how to make work fun with 4 special things: play, making someone's day, being there, and choosing your attitude. And from there, the Schools of Fish became a philosophy that we're incorporating in our school too.
All right. So we've got play, make their day, be there, and choose your attitude. All right. Let's take a look at be there. And can you give us a little bit of some information on that, kind of a little explanation on that?
Sure. So be there is kind of exactly what it is, just being right there for someone. Giving someone your undivided attention when they're talking to you, even focusing on their needs and feelings. And one of the biggest parts is just listening, just tuning in and listening to what's going on around you.
Yeah, my wife has said something about that too, so...
It's probably a good thing for us all to practice.
Yeah. So what might that look like in a school setting?
So in school here at Faith, we're trying to do it maybe in 3 parts. Giving the students the opportunity to learn to listen by listening to their fellow classmates, and then supporting them maybe even when they're going through something, a hard time at home. The teachers and the students learning to have meaningful conversations, where teachers actually learn to listen to their students.
Yeah.
And then the teachers coming alongside of one another and supporting each other as we go through, and then sharing what we know and listening to one another as we talk, maybe even through prayer requests and things like that.
Well, these things can be, I think we're already starting to see a difference in how incorporating the fish philosophy in the classroom is working and making a difference. But perhaps the parents tuning in, listening, watching, how can they incorporate this idea of be there at home with their children?
Yeah, so I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, so it's all kind of about listening and being there for one another. So I would think one of the very first things that pop in my head is to reinstate the family dinner. A lot of people would know what that is, but some of our students or the kids at home, they have not really had dinner at home. So where everyone sits around the table, even if it's just once a week, and talks about their day. Mm-hmm. So that would be a great way to be there for one another. And then teaching your children how to encourage their siblings. That brotherly love that you hope all of your kids have, but encouraging their siblings in the good things that are going on in their life.
Right. There's a commercial on TV. I just had to interject this part, and perhaps you've seen it at home, but where they're having dinner at the table. The mom comes in, and she gets her phone, and she pauses the internet, and everybody's device is shut down, and so she's like, oh, so how was your day? So I think that's just a great example of how parents can incorporate that at home, just to reinstitute that. That's a good thought there.
Yeah. Okay, so we've gone through be there. The next one, or another one, is play. Can you describe that for us?
Sure. So I like to use this. I found this quote. I think it's the best way to describe play. That psychologists say that fun is a basic need, just like having a sense of control over your life and a need to be loved. So along with 2 things that we automatically know we should have in our life to make us be productive, good citizens, good people, and happy. The third thing they say you should have is some fun. So we need to throw some fun into our life.
Absolutely.
And at school, we can do that, obviously, at recess. But then we can also do it by the teachers learning how to incorporate games for review, or playing a game with the students, and then singing songs or creative projects. Different things like that give the kids an opportunity to learn and play. And they're not just learning material, which is really important, but they're learning another skill, a social skill, on how to interact with one another.
Yeah. So for parents, how might they be able to incorporate some of that into the home life?
So I was thinking, go back to the family dinner. You might incorporate something like family game night, where everybody sits around a table and plays a game. Or maybe little Johnny likes to make up a game, and Mom, you join in and play too. And then, and encourage your kids once again to leave those screens for a little while, because their creativity is so important. Giving them the opportunity to build, or like I said, make up a game and play it on their own terms is a great way to incorporate play at home.
All right, so we've gone through be there, play. Next one we want to look at is make their day. What is that?
So we all love the idea of someone making our day. And it's not the Arnold Schwarzenegger, go ahead and make my day. Okay, this is like, giving somebody a present when they're not expecting it. But it doesn't even have to be that. It might just be a simple word of encouragement when you see somebody who's looking down or something like that. It's actually taking a genuine interest in someone else's life and taking the time to do that. So make their day and be there kind of go hand in hand. So at school, a little bit of this is easy because we honor our students for things like good grades, or we honor our athletes because they've scored a lot of points on the basketball court. But what about those kids who they're not the star athlete, or they don't make straight A's, but they work really, really hard every single day? So how do we come alongside them and encourage them? I think as teachers, we need to remember that everybody needs a pat on the back. And so we're encouraging one another to do that. Give each other a high five every once in a while in the hall. Write positive notes. I know that sometimes the middle schoolers get sticky notes on their locker that just say, you're amazing, or something like that. What an encouraging way to make them feel good for that day. And you don't know what happened before they got out of the car that morning, so you might just be the one person, the teacher, that kind of turns that whole day around for them.
So what does that look like in the home? So what can parents do at home with this?
I would say one of the first things you could do, and an easy thing, is when you're packing their lunch, drop a note in their lunchbox. Say, I'm thinking about you today. Stick a scripture in there that really encourages them for the day. If you know they're having a test, tell them, I know you're going to do great on that test today. I would say encourage them, branch out to try new things. Maybe they're not a straight A student, but maybe they would find accolades in things like art or music or something like that. So make their day by encouraging them to try new tasks, and then always be ready to do something, give a gift for no reason at all. We all expect a present on our birthday or Christmas, but what if on the way home from school one day you just said, we're going to go get milkshakes at McDonald's today for no reason at all? That might really make a kid's day.
Absolutely.
I would be okay with that.
You bet. I'll sign up for that one. So we've talked about be there, play, make their day. The last one is choose your attitude. Oh my. Why don't you try to explain that one?
Well, how do you explain choose your attitude? I think we know exactly what that means. That it is exactly that your attitude is a choice. We choose to get angry about the things that we get angry about. We choose to be happy about the things that we're happy about. And sometimes it's just that teaching students even that you're in control of that. Right. That you are the one who gets to make that decision to allow something to affect you one way or another. That's your choice. And I think for kids, students, that's a great thing because once again, it's the ball's in their court. They have the responsibility, and it's really good for them to understand that sometimes it is their choice, and this is a time when they get their choice. I will say that takes constant reminding and bringing us back because even as adults, I think sometimes it's just easier to get mad and angry than it is to say, you know what, I choose joy, not anger. I choose to be okay with the things that are happening right now because I know that something better is coming. And we have to do that as grown-ups, and it is hard, for kids to do that too, but we just keep reminding them. So how do you really want to feel about that?
That's true. That is true. Yep. I think one of the ways that it's really important with our students, I was reminded of thinking of this quote by Zig Ziglar. He said, it's your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude. So really how high and how far you go, and especially as a student, your attitude, like going into a test. Sometimes the outcome is predetermined simply because of the attitude that they take. And that could be a positive one. I'm really going to do well on this test, or if it's a negative one, that can be detrimental. But reinforcing the positive attitude in a student is so very important. So how can parents reinforce the attitude, choosing your attitude in the home with your child?
So I think the first thing that pops in my mind is maybe that when they start going down that road, maybe you've even corrected them and they have that attitude that you see right here on your face, right? Yeah. And you say, okay, wait a minute. Is that really the attitude you want to have? And the first thing you do is you encourage the positive attitudes. Right. I think another thing that we have to do in today's society, and this is going to seem a little far-fetched, but we have to learn as parents how to let our children fail at something. So yes, that's going to be a disappointment, but what are you going to do to overcome that? And that's a choice that you make. What you do is a choice you make. And so you choose to try harder the next time, or you choose to learn something that's going to make you better at that, as opposed to just getting mad and walking away and staying angry. And I think as parents, we also have to remember that we have to choose our attitudes as well. Absolutely. And so that's a really important thing to remember as we're going through this whole process, that it's a choice for us as well. So the way we respond to our kids is a choice that we make too.
Absolutely. So, Alicia, thank you so much for giving us a quick overview of the fish philosophy. If this is something that you're interested in, there's some books out there, Fish Philosophy. That's a quick read. Same thing with the schools of fish, and how to incorporate that into different places. But we'll also have some show notes and some additional resources on our website at faithchristiansc.com. We'd love for you to go and take a look at that. If you're interested in learning more about Faith Christian School, you can check out our website, or you can call us at 843-873-8464 and talk to Cindy, and she'll be able to help you out with all of that. We'd love to have you connect with us on social media. For Facebook, you can connect with us at Faith Christian School. For Instagram, it's Faith Nights. And you can connect with us and keep up with what's going on with some of the things we're doing day to day. Please join us next time when we'll have another podcast that will help you grow as a parent, grow as a spouse, and grow as a child of God.
Thank you for listening to the Faith Christian School podcast. Faith Christian School disciples students to be engaged by Christ and engage the world for Christ. We look forward to partnering with you on our next podcast.